Thank you for joining us here at Justice on Demand. My name is Christian Pedersen, attorney at Justice on Demand. Wanted to talk a little bit about personal injury accidents as they occur in Queen Creek, Arizona. Uh, Being located, and I personally live in Queen Creek, I can tell you that Queen Creek is definitely growing. According to the federal government, in 2022, Queen Creek had a population of about 60,000 people. As of 2024, we now have a population of about 84,000 people. And by 2035, that's expected to nearly double to 150,000 people. Now, you're probably aware if you've been to Queen Creek that we have no direct freeway access to either the 60 or the Loop 202, which means that traffic on the surface streets is almost certainly going to get worse, which unfortunately means that there will be more traffic accidents, whether it's auto accidents, truck accidents, bicycle accidents, or pedestrian accidents. It unfortunately will get worse. Now, what is a personal injury case? A personal injury case arises when you've been injured and that injury is a result of someone else's negligence. So a simple example is if you're stopped at a stop sign and you are rear-ended by somebody who's not paying attention or driving too fast, they were obviously negligent and caused the accident. And if that accident then caused you to be injured, that would create what's called a personal injury case. There are lots of ways that personal injury cases can arise, but in our society, most personal injury cases tend to arise out of auto accidents or trip and fall type cases. And it's very important, as you'll see, that your case is handled with a personal injury attorney. I can't stress that enough. There are a lot of ways that you can go wrong and create serious problems and even lose your case entirely if you're not having somebody who's experienced help you handle your case. One of the biggest components for a personal injury case is what we call damages. Damages just simply means were you hurt and did you have medical bills and expenses that arose from those injuries? Damages can kind of be segmented into two main categories. The first one is what we like to call special damages. Those are things that are easily quantified, such as your medical bills, any wage loss you may have suffered, if there's an estimate for future medical care that you may require, that would also be part of special damages. And if you have any estimate of future potential wage loss or if you have to switch professions because of your injuries, those that would also fall under special damages. The other one that we hear a lot of is what we call general damages, which we refer to as pain, suffering, hassle, inconvenience, embarrassment, etc., of having to go through the accident. What can you do to build a solid case so that you are able to get your medical bills fully recovered and receive the most amount of compensation for your pain and suffering? It starts with building a solid case and gathering solid evidence. I have a few other videos about making sure that you're taking photos and videos of the scene of your accident. And you should take photos and videos of everything, and I do mean everything. If you're injured in an auto accident, make sure you're taking photos and videos of the vehicles, the intersection, the road conditions, if there's any skid marks, etc. If you're injured via a trip and fall, make sure you're taking photos and videos um, of the scene of where you tripped and fell, the store, where it happened in the store, getting any contact info from any eyewitnesses. All those things are very important. I do realize that sometimes people are hurt very badly and they're not able to do a whole lot of investigation at the scene because they need to have immediately go to the hospital. In that circumstance, it is important that you get a hold of an attorney as soon as possible, so that they can then assist and try to build that evidence as quickly as possible for you. The other thing is incident reports. If been involved in an auto accident, that would mean calling the police and making sure that they come out and do a police report. if you've been hurt at a store or some or a park or something, making sure that the store manager or person responsible comes out and takes an incident report and talks to any witnesses and that it's documented that your accident actually happened. I do have from time to time clients who will be involved in a trip and fall at a store, and they don't tell the store manager or any employees that they were hurt, and then there's not any evidence that it actually happened except for their word. So making sure that an incident report is created is super important. If you've been bitten by a dog, please make sure you call animal control and that there's evidence that you called on the day or shortly after the day of the dog bite to document that you were in fact bitten. Probably the most important thing that we use to establish your case is your medical bills and your medical records. Your medical bills will document how much the total treatment costs for your injuries, and the records will document what your doctors think about your diagnosis and prognosis for the future. Um, Also, a key component is what we call your lost wages. Now, I do have another video where I talk extensively about this, but always make sure that if you have to take time off of work, that you're getting a doctor's note placing you off of work. I can't stress this enough, as the insurance companies will always argue on lost wages, especially if you don't have a doctor's note placing you off of work. Once you've returned back to work, then we can reach out to your employer and get any pay stubs or history or that we need to show how much time you missed off of work. If you use PTO, we can also seek to recover the value of that as well for you. Statute of limitations. The statute of limitations just sets the deadline for where you have to either settle your case or file a lawsuit to preserve your case. In Arizona, most of the time that statute of limitations for a personal injury case is going to be 2 years. There are, however, other circumstances where it's significantly less than that. For example, if you've been injured by somebody who works for the state of Arizona, you'll have to file what's called a notice of claim within 180 days of your accident occurring. It's very important that if you have been injured by somebody that's an employee of the state or a agent of the state, that you get an attorney to start handling that right away, because it can be very, very difficult to go after the state. Um, there are other circumstances, such as dog bite cases, where you'll need to file a lawsuit within a year if you want to preserve what's called strict liability. Strict liability just means that unless you provoke the dog, then the dog owner will be 100% at fault for the dog biting you. And you'll need to file that within either settle or file that within 1 year of your dog bite attack in order to preserve that claim for strict liability, which is very important. If you don't settle your lawsuit or if you don't settle your personal injury claim or file a lawsuit within the prescribed deadline by the statute of limitations, then you unfortunately are out of luck and you will lose your case and all of your rights to compensation. And I would not want to see that happen to anybody. So make sure that you're talking to an experienced attorney so that they're able to make sure they're preserving your claim. If you have any questions, we would love to hear from you. We offer free, no hassle initial consults for all of our clients. We work 100% on contingency, which means that we don't get paid until you get paid. If we don't win your case, then your case is free. You'll have an actual attorney handle your case from start to finish. And there's absolutely no risk, as we never take more money than we put in your pocket. If you have any questions, please call us at 480 934 0676.